What if I told you the bread you ate this morning, the medicine that saved your uncle's life, and the drought-resistant maize that your uncle grows all came from the same science? This is Mindset Africa. Today we are diving into biotechnology, an invincible science changing how we eat, how we feel, and how we survive in Africa. It's not sci-fi, it's real, it's here. So let's get into it. So today I have a guest with me. I would like to dive into the field of biotechnology with him. So I would like him to introduce himself, his name, where he's coming from. Let's do that with him. Please, can you tell us your name, where you are coming from, where you studied, and what you are currently doing?
Hello everyone. My name is Paul Inkomotabel. I am a teaching and research assistant at the Department of Crop and Soil Science in KNUST, and then a recent graduate of agricultural and biotechnology.
Right. A recent graduate of agricultural biotechnology. So let's dive into the questions straightforward. Our first question is, the viewers want to know, what is biotechnology? Why is it important in today's world? People want to know what biotechnology is. Can you please help us with that? Biotechnology. When they say biotechnology, what does it mean to the layman?
Okay, thank you for the question and thank you for having me. I'll explain it in a layman's term so that we all can perfectly understand the term. So, biotechnology, let's take it as two separate words, all right? Bio and then technology, where the bio suggests that we are looking at biological organisms or biological systems. So, we are looking at natural things. Then the technology aspect looks at incorporating tools or equipment or procedures that helps to modify the biological organisms. So in basic terms, biotechnology is we are looking at altering or manipulating the organisms or biological systems we have to suit what we want or what we need. In the layman's term, that is what biotechnology is.
Wow, that is so nice. In your introduction, you said you studied agricultural biotechnology
Yes,
in
please.
KNUST.
Yes, please.
So we want to know what inspired you to study biotechnology in KNUST. I mean, there are a lot of programs here. Why biotechnology? Why did you choose to study that one?
Okay, so that's a good question. I would say I find biology very fascinating and interesting. And then I would say I'm also very good with DNA stuff. I mean, I'm all about biology and all that. So I think that's where the interest started. And I would say it peaked after SHS, where I wanted to pursue a degree in the university. So I just kind of fell in love with biotechnology. I came across one or two things online. Then I was like, no, I would like to delve deeper into this aspect of science. And I mean, it's, let's say, an emerging field of science. So I wanted to be one of the frontiers or one of the people who would pioneer it into, let's say, greater force or into the limelight.
Wow. I thought it was just a course that was given to you by the university. So that means you chose it as part of your courses when
Oh,
you were applying.
oh, yes, I did.
Because some people, when you ask them why they are studying the program they are currently
Mhm.
doing, they will tell you they didn't even plan to do that.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. I
So
get that.
thank you. So our
Exactly.
next question is, what are some everyday examples of biotechnology people may not realize they use? I mean, the name might sound new to some people.
Mhm.
So I want us to tell the viewers some things that are happening in our daily lives that are actually biotechnology and people do not know about it. Do you have some examples like that?
Oh, okay, so I'll give a few because those are what we have or use around us every day or in our daily lives. So I'd say the making of bread, which requires the use of yeast, is actually a biotech, let's say, approach. Um, so we know that the yeast, when added to the bread, causes the bread to rise. All right, that's a form of a biotech approach or biotechnological means. We have the production of wine. So in our local setting, we have palm wine or the production of alcohol. We let the alcohol or the palm wine ferment for some time before we can get the actual product. And those enzyme or those microorganisms that are involved in that procedure are all a form of biotechnological means. So we have fermentation of our maize, where you put your maize in water, let it soak for a while before you go to grind it, so that you have your powder or your dough. All those procedures involved are kind of biotechnological means. So directly or indirectly, most of the products we have around are as a result of the biotechnological processes.
Wow, that is very good. We have various kinds of biotechnology. We have the food biotechnology, environmental aspect of the biotechnology, then the crop aspect of biotechnology as well, the animal aspect of biotechnology as well. But I want to be specific. Let's now get more specific. What is agricultural biotechnology and how does it differ from the traditional farming methods?
Okay.
Agricultural biotechnology, how does it differ from the traditional farming methods?
Okay.
The viewers wants to know.
Okay, so thank you for the question and thank you for the opportunity to educate our viewers on agricultural biotechnology as well. So I think I already um, expounded on the term biotechnology earlier, so I would get into agricultural biotechnology. So, agric biotech or agricultural biotechnology is basically we looking to develop what we have in our agricultural setting. So, be it animals, be it the food crops or the fruits or vegetables we are looking at it in the sense that we have it in a natural way, but then we want it to behave in a certain way that we want. So I would like to say that we are kind of like changing the way we want to see how things go around us in the agricultural way. All right.
Mm.
And then for the benefits, or let's say for how it works, I would say a perfect example is like, let's say we have a tomato plant, and then we know that the normal shelf life of a tomato is, let's say, a little about just 2 weeks. All right. Then we know that we want to keep the tomato for quite some time. All right. So we have some procedures or some tools we use, or some let's say ways we um, alter the genome of the tomato fruit for it to last longer than it has to do in its normal way. I'm sure I'm using some kind of like technical terms over here,
Yes,
but then
I
as you
think
go further,
the viewers might not
we'll,
understand that.
I'll break it down.
So, our next question, how is biotechnology helping improve agriculture and food production in Africa? How is it helping increasing or improving agriculture in general in Africa?
So I think biotech is I wouldn't say it's an emerging field. It has already emerged, but then it's on the runway. Each and every day there are new things that come out. So I'd say biotech is really helping Africa in the sense that it helps us to breed for crops that are resistant and resilient. And when I say resistant, to some diseases, to some pests, and then even to some weeds we have around in our communities, or let's say in our ecological zones. It helps us in the production of food. There is much output of our food production. So let's say we know that the normal maize takes about, let's say, a little to some months before we can harvest. But then for biotech products or biotech foods, it takes let's say a little over some time for us to get a bountiful harvest, all right, without any harmful effects by pests or any diseases as well.
So, if I get what you are saying, that means through biotechnology, we can actually develop crops that will be resistant to pests,
Oh
that will be
yes,
resistant to drought and
exactly,
other climate changes that we are currently experiencing in Africa.
exactly.
Wow, this is actually good. But I think our farmers, most of our farmers in Ghana, they do not know that. But that is why we have him here. At least it will help us as farmers in general in Africa and in Ghana as well. Now, moving forward, products from biotechnology. They have a term for it called GMOs, genetically modified organisms.
Yeah.
So, what is it? When they say genetically modified organism, what does that mean? To the layman, to the viewers, those who do not know what genetics means, and they say modified organisms.
Okay.
So, what does that mean?
Okay, so when we say GMOs, so in this case, the organism under study has its genome, or has its genetic material being modified. So modified in the sense that it has either been improved, or it has been, let's say, taken out. In the case where we feel that particular genetic material is of less essence to what we want as our output. So when we say genetically modified, we are looking at it has been improved. It has been improved through biological means, through biotechnological means. It has been improved for a better results. Yes.
Wow. So are they safe for for consumers in Ghana? Are they safe for the citizens of Ghana? Are they safe for people in general? Genetically modified organisms, are they safe? And do we have some currently in the world, in Africa, or even in Ghana now?
Okay. So thank you for the question. So um with that, I'm going to answer it very carefully whether it's being safe or not. So I think there are various school of thoughts behind this whole biotech products and all that,
Wow.
religious thoughts, there are a whole lot, ethical reasons. Others say it's kind of we playing God and all that. But then I would say, as a
Wait,
scientist,
we playing God. What does that mean?
yeah, so people actually attribute biotech to we playing God, in the sense that if God has made something this way, why are we trying to alter it into a different way? But then the thing is, we should know that we are evolving. The world is constantly evolving. There is increase in population. Climate change is on the rise. Almost each and every day, there is something new going on in the world, and then we can't always live in the age of the old. So biotech or GMOs help in various ways, so it is very safe because the methods and procedures and tools that are used in bringing up that particular product are safe and tried methods. They don't just come up as a test trial and then being set into the market. No, it
Wow.
goes through various stages of trials on animals, humans, goes through ethical protocols and all that before it is being released for humans to eat. So I would say it's very safe. And then recently there are some biotech products on the market, not in Ghana here per se, but then I know in the Western world we have the BT corn
Bitcoin.
that is resistant to some pest that
Wow.
attacks maize in particular.
Wow.
So it has been modified in a way that it will be resistant to that particular pest. So if I'm to have the BT corn on my field, it is going to be resistant to that particular BT or that particular pest. So that means in this way, I am preventing the use of pesticide one. I'm
Wow.
preventing the use of weedicide. So that means it is going to come out very naturally. So in this case, I've avoided the use of weedicide, which is a chemical. I've avoided the use of a pesticide, which is a chemical as well. So that means it's going to come out in its natural state for me.
Very organic product. That is actually very good. I mean, then I think we should embrace this biotechnological products. I mean, imagine me as a farmer getting a particular variety, a particular crop that will be resistant to pests.
Mhm.
That is good. At least I can save some money.
Exactly.
Because nowadays, when we plant our products, when we plant our crops, within some few days' time or within some few months' time, you would hear complaints that some pests are attacking the crops on the field.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
sometimes with the weeds too, they attack them and compete with the crops for nutrients.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, you end up not getting much harvest. So I
Exactly.
think if we kind of embrace this biotechnological product, it will actually help us.
Exactly.
That is actually good. Okay, our last question, Mr. Paul. Besides agriculture, how is biotechnology impacting healthcare and medicine today? As we mentioned earlier, biotechnology encompasses of the health sector and then agriculture sector too as well. So how is it impacting the health sector today now, either in Africa or in the world in general?
Okay, so thanks for the question. So I'll liken biotech to a tree, and then the other branches of biotech as the branches of the tree. So biotech is the main field, and then its branches or its subdivisions. We have the agricultural biotech is actually a division and a biotechnology. So we also have the medical biotechnology as an aspect of biotechnology. So there are now procedures and some tools and equipment that are still in play that are as a result of biotechnology. All right. So the popular ones that are in play right now is the CRISPR-Cas9 technology that is used in gene editing in healthcare.
Okay. Then our last question. What final advice or message would you like to share with young people and viewers about biotechnology? What advice do you have for them and then the farmers in general too as well?
Okay, so to everyone watching this video, both young and old, small and um, big, I would say biotech is here. Let us embrace it with all we can. I mean, I would say biotech is the future. Biotech is here. And just as we talked about, it's not just impacting agric, it's impacting health, it's impacting the environment and the industry as well. And I also beg us to seek clarity of everything we do not understand, especially with the issues of GMO, its ethical concerns and all. And I would also